Thanksgiving. The smell of roasted turkey, cinnamon pie, wine poured too generously, laughter that felt rehearsed. I sat there, waiting, silent. Then she stood, my sister. She tapped her glass like a judge calling for order. And with a voice that cut sharper than any blade, she said, "We talked about it. You're not family anymore." No one breathed. Forks hung mid-air. Eyes shifted, but no one defended me. I didn't argue. Instead, I reached for the folder by my chair and slid it across the table. Her hands hesitated before touching it. She opened it, scanned the first page, and her face drained of color. That's when the screaming began. It hadn't always been this way. My sister, Claire, was the golden one. Perfect grades, perfect smile. The kind of woman people trusted instantly. And me? I was the shadow. Quieter, slower to trust. But I believed in her. I loved her. When my marriage crumbled last year, she was the one who held my hand. She told me I was too good for my wife, that I'd rebuild stronger. I believed every word. But love makes fools, and blood blinds. It started small, missed calls, her sudden closeness with Daniel, my ex-wife's new fiancé. He was supposed to be history, yet somehow he was always around, always with her. A touch on his arm, a laugh too loud. I told myself I was paranoid, until I saw the message on his phone when he left it on my counter. "He'll never know, I promise. I love you." Signed with her initials. I didn't rage. I didn't throw the phone. I simply placed it back, face down, and smiled at him when he returned. That's the night I stopped being the fool. Revenge isn't rage. Rage is sloppy. Revenge is patience. I started watching, listening, collecting. Every receipt, every hotel charge, every whispered conversation caught on a recorder tucked in my pocket. While she thought she was clever, while he thought he was desirable, I was building an archive. A slow, meticulous gallery of betrayal. I wasn't just after the affair. That would have been too easy. I wanted them stripped bare. Her reputation, his pride, their future. So I reached out to Daniel's boss with anonymous concerns. A conflict of interest in contracts. Shady numbers I had traced, thanks to the files left on Claire's laptop when she forgot to log out. By the time HR called him in, I already knew what they'd find. Next, I secured the mortgage. My parents' house, the one Claire lived in rent-free, the one she believed she'd inherit someday. I quietly bought the banknote through a holding company. She had no idea who her new landlord was. All pieces in place, all waiting for tonight. Back to the table. Back to the moment her words sliced me out of the family. She expected me to beg, to argue, to prove I still belonged. Instead, I gave her the folder. Inside, photographs, printouts of messages, recordings transcribed word for word. Her hand in Daniel's, her voice whispering promises to a man who once shared my bed. Gasps filled the silence. My mother's hand shot to her mouth. My father's fork clattered. My nephew's wide eyes darted between us, confusion etched deep. Claire stammered, tried to explain, but every page screamed louder than her words. And then came the second half of the folder, financial documents, the foreclosure notice already stamped and signed. Her inheritance was gone. The house she stood in wasn't hers anymore. Her screams turned desperate. "You can't do this!" But I already had. Daniel rose from his chair, veins in his neck bulging. "This is insane," he barked. I didn't even look at him, just slid the final sheet across the table, the email trail to his boss, the official termination notice, effective immediately. His jaw slackened. He sank back down. The room spun with voices, Accusations, shame, disbelief. But I stayed calm. I looked Claire in the eye. You wanted me out of the family. Congratulations. You got your wish. But now, so did I. Her face crumbled, mascara streaking as she realized there was no escape. I left them there, shouting, pointing fingers, trying to piece together what I had dismantled. I walked out into the cold November air, the night sky sharp and clear above me. For years I'd carried their weight, their expectations, their judgment, their betrayal. Tonight, I dropped it all at their feet and walked away. Do I feel sad? No. Regret? Not a trace. Because betrayal is a debt, and tonight I collected every cent. They thought silence meant weakness, but silence is a blade when you know where to cut. I'm not family anymore, and that is my freedom.